When it comes to interactivity and immersion in video games, the key is to look at the roles that players are put in and how they react to the game world. A lot of players, myself included, kind of see our characters as an avatar of ourselves, a sort of extension. When I'm at home online playing games, I can be whoever I want. I can be a warrior from, the frozen north, or I can be a space captain, out in the far reaches of the Milky Way. And it doesn't matter. The thing about game addiction is games have to be treated like anything else in your life. You cannot binge watch 36 hours of Netflix. You can't, not go to class for 3 weeks straight, not go to work. It's at that point that you start to neglect your real life responsibilities, that anything, alcohol, drugs, like I said, TV, games, and anything can cause you trouble. And looking at games as an addiction, it's no different, right? It's the same responsibility that the player has to limit their play time and make good choices in their real life, so that when they do things like have all their friends over to play games, or spend their day off immersed in their game world of choice, that they can do that responsibly and spend their time how they want.
I had started playing games when I was about 5 years old. When I would get home from kindergarten, first grade, whatever grade I was in, I went to my babysitter's house. I would go to my mom's and dad's friend's house, and they had a NES. They had a Nintendo Entertainment System, and the first game I ever played was Super Mario Brothers 3, and I loved that game. Although I'm not very good at Mario nowadays, I really enjoyed playing that game back then, and since then I got an N64 for my birthday one year and got Pokemon Stadium, and that was the start of when I started playing games. And then I started playing every kind of game. I started playing Legend of Zelda, Halo, Mass Effect, and then I started to get into MMOs. And as a gamer, it is a lot of who I am. I make videos off of video games not as a profession, but I want it to be a profession, and I just wouldn't be who I am if I wasn't playing games.
I've probably been a gamer since, I don't know, I would say probably since I was 5 years old. Pops had a Super Nintendo with the original Mario Brothers game, and I instantly fell in love with the entertainment value of games. As a kid, I think we can all agree we're kind of motivated by flashing lights and interesting sounds. But I have to say the game that really drew me into being a gamer the most was probably The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. And I play games even now, everything from Halo to World of Warcraft. It's just, gaming is an integral part of who I am. It's my favorite hobby, and it's what I do when I don't have other things that I should be doing.
Video games are like movies in that both like to tell narrative stories, but I think the difference between video games is that, and why people want to constantly play video games, is that the video games are interactive kinds of stories, where the player, although the developer is giving you the story that they want to see, the player can interact with the story in that they make choices based on things that are happening, and that alters the story, which is why I think people get so immersed and like to play the games constantly. And one of the biggest examples of that is like Mass Effect 3, or the Mass Effect series in general, in which you play these 3 games, and as you play them, you make choices that then alter the story. And like in the second game, there's a suicide mission where if you don't do things correctly, you can have your crew members and these people that you built relationships with literally die, and they won't be in the next game for you. Like, if these people are killed in the mission and then you play the third game, you literally don't see them. They are out of the story. And I think it's those kinds of things that make the player care about what they're seeing and care about the narrative, and why people play video games so much, and why developers can make such awesome stories, because they can let the players have choice in the story while still giving their own sort of story that they want to see.
A lot of people equate really time-intensive games like World of Warcraft or some of these RPGs like the Mass Effect trilogy that take a lot of hours to complete with as a kind of addiction. They see people who play those games as different basement dwellers. And that's really not the case. It's at the end of the day, I guess what I'm really saying is it's just a game, and to treat it as more than that, to say that, oh, people who play this game have a problem just because they play this game, well, that's not true. And to think that is foolhardy and maybe a little bit narrow-minded.